Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Take a sample of. Items selected at random from a population and used to test hypotheses about the population. All are part of a natural object that is collected and preserved as an example of its class. A small part of something intended as representative of the whole. A strong liking. The faculty of distinguishing sweet, sour, bitter, and salty properties in the mouth. His cold deprived him of his sense of taste. A small amount eaten or drunk. Take a taste, you'll like it. Take a sample of. The sensation that results when taste buds in the tongue and throat convey information about the chemical composition of a soluble stimulus. The candy left him with a bad taste. Delicate discrimination, especially of aesthetic values. Arrogance and lack of taste contributed to his rapid success. Have a distinctive or characteristic taste. This tastes of nutmeg. Have flavor. Taste of something. A kind of sensing. Distinguishing substances by means of the taste buds. A brief experience of something. He got a taste of life on the wild side. Distinguish flavors. We tasted wines last night. Experience briefly. The ex-slave tasted freedom shortly before she died. Perceive by the sense of taste. Can you taste the garlic? Melt, fat or lard, in order to separate out impurities. Try the yak butter. Test the limits of. You are trying my patience. Make an effort or attempt. Take a sample of. Put to the test, as for its quality, or give experimental use to. Put on a garment in order to see whether it fits and looks nice. Put on trial or hear a case and sit as the judge at the trial of. Earnest and conscientious activity intended to do or accomplish something. She gave it a good try. Examine or hear evidence or a case by judicial process. Give pain or trouble to. Take a sample of. Try something new, as in order to gain experience. Put to the test, as for its quality, or give experimental use to. Perform in order to get a role. Items selected at random from a population and used to test hypotheses about the population. Items selected at random from a population and used to test hypotheses about the population. Measurement at regular intervals of the amplitude of a varying waveform, in order to convert it to digital form. Statistics, the selection of a suitable sample for study. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Use up, resources or materials. This car consumes a lot of gas. Spend extravagantly. Eat up completely, as with great appetite. Destroy completely. The fire consumed the building. Engage fully. The effort to pass the exam consumed all his energy. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Have or possess, either in a concrete or an abstract sense. Have sex with, archaic use. Have ownership or possession of. How many cars does she have? Achieve a point or goal. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Have a feeling. Get something. Come into possession of. A person who possesses great material wealth. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Undergo. Have as a feature. Cause to be born. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Receive willingly something given or offered. The only girl who would have him was the miller's daughter. Have a personal or business relationship with someone. Have a postdoc. Have left. I have 2 years left. Suffer from. Be ill with. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Take up mentally. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the die. Require, time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require as useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. Fool or hoax. Call for and obtain payment of. Fold up. Take in the sails. See or watch. Take up mentally. Hear, usually without the knowledge of the speakers. Earn on some commercial or business transaction. Earn as salary or wages. Take into one's family. Accept. Suck or take up or in. Take in, also metaphorically. Express willingness to have in one's home or environs. Take up as if with a sponge. Make clothes smaller. Please take in this skirt, I've lost weight. Provide with shelter. Visit for entertainment. Take in the sights. Statistics. An arrangement of values of a variable showing their observed or theoretical frequency of occurrence. Statistics. An arrangement of values of a variable showing their observed or theoretical frequency of occurrence. The spatial or geographic property of being scattered about over a range, area, or volume. Worldwide in distribution. The act of distributing or spreading or apportioning. The commercial activity of transporting and selling goods from a producer to a consumer. An object occurring naturally, not made by man. Showing by example. An item of information that is typical of a class or group. Artwork that helps make something clear or attractive. A visual representation, a picture or diagram, that is used to make some subject more pleasing or easier to understand. A representative form or pattern. I profited from his example. Something to be imitated. An occurrence of something. But there is always the famous example of the Smiths. An item of information that is typical of a class or group. This patient provides a typical example of the syndrome. Punishment intended as a warning to others. They decided to make an example of him. A task performed or problem solved in order to develop skill or understanding. You must work the examples at the end of each chapter in the textbook. An occurrence of something. Another instance occurred yesterday. Clarify by giving an example of. An item of information that is typical of a class or group. An item of information that is typical of a class or group. An advocate who represents someone else's policy or purpose. A member of the United States House of Representatives. A person who represents others. Being or characteristic of government by representation in which citizens exercise power through elected officers and representatives. Representative government is defined by Abraham Lincoln as government of the people, by the people, for the people. Serving to represent or typify. Representative moviegoers. Standing for something else. The bald eagle is representative of the United States. Taste with relish. Degust this wonderful soup. A statistical procedure for accepting or rejecting a batch of merchandise or documents. Involves determining the maximum number of defects discovered in a sample before the entire batch is rejected. The population is divided into strata and a random sample is taken from each stratum. A sample grabbed at random. A sample in which every element in the population has an equal chance of being selected. The population is divided into strata and a random sample is taken from each stratum. The population is divided into strata and a random sample is taken from each stratum. A bit of tissue or blood or urine that is taken for diagnostic purposes. They collected a urine specimen for urinalysis. An example regarded as typical of its class. Computer science. A tiny ferrite toroid formerly used in a random access memory to store one bit of data, now superseded by semiconductor memories. Each core has 3 wires passing through it, providing the means to select and detect the contents of each bit. A small group of indispensable persons or things. 5 periodicals make up the core of their publishing program. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. An organization founded by James Leonard Farmer in 1942 to work for racial equality. A bar of magnetic material, as soft iron, that passes through a coil and serves to increase the inductance of the coil. A cylindrical sample of soil or rock obtained with a hollow drill. Remove the core or center from. Core an apple. The center of an object. The ball has a titanium core. The central part of the Earth. The chamber of a nuclear reactor containing the fissile material where the reaction takes place. A single sample or measurement taken at a specific time or over as short a period as feasible. A sample meant to be representative of a whole population. A section created by a plane cutting a solid perpendicular to its longest axis. Physics. The probability that a particular interaction, as capture or ionization, will take place between particles, measured in barns. A negotiable certificate that can be detached and redeemed as needed. A test sample of some substance. Taking a small amount into the mouth to test its quality. A kind of sensing, distinguishing substances by means of the taste buds. A wine tasting. A small amount, especially of food or wine. A branch of applied mathematics concerned with the collection and interpretation of quantitative data and the use of probability theory to estimate population parameters.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.